Welcome back to another edition of Inside the 18, brought to you by Northside Automotive. I'm Amanda Mazey, sitting in today for Adam Zundel. The Mountaineer women have finished their regular season schedule as Big 12 champs, and the conference postseason awards were handed out on Monday. WVU was well represented. We'll run all of them down a little bit later on in the show. Both the men and women were in action this past weekend. Scores and highlights are on tap as well. But first, no doubt you've heard the saying, taking one for the team. Well, Jess Crowder could be the poster girl for that slogan. Jess Crowder always played the midfield. Throughout her youth career, in high school, and with her club team, Jess pretty much patrolled the middle third of the pitch. When coach Nikki Izzo Brown recruited Jess, she recruited her as a midfielder. As a freshman, Crowder saw action in 13 games as a midfielder. So imagine how Jess felt when Coach Izzo Brown came to her right before the Stanford match and said, "We're moving you back to defense."
At first, I'm a little surprised, obviously. It's a big role to take on.
I remember talking to her saying, "All right, Jess, we need you to go back there. You can do this job for us, and I have 100% confidence in you." And she was like, "Okay, coach, whatever you need."
But I just took the bull by the horns and was like, well, I got to make this position my own now. And now it's my position. I mean, again, I can't take for granted that I'm starting now in the back line. I'm happy I'm starting and playing. But yeah, sometimes I do miss the midfield just because, that's me. I'm a midfielder by trade.
We call her the silent assassin. She was fit coming in. And again, she had everything on the checklist to get it done. So it's been a great opportunity for our team to have her back there.
Crowder's quiet demeanor and self-discipline comes from her upbringing. She's from a military family.
They were both Navy, 2 different ships, but they met on base in San Diego. So that's where I was born. Being in the military, they learned a lot, obviously themselves, and just what they learned they tried to instill in my brother and I. And so, we used it in order for us to better ourselves.
Like a lot of soccer players, Crowder began to play the game at an early age. But for Jess, there was another sport that was just as important when she was young.
I have a black belt, a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. My mom, being a mom, wanted her little kid, her little daughter to be able to defend herself. She was ever alone when she was older. So she enrolled me, and at first I was like, okay, cool. And then I started to really enjoy it and really harness it. And so I stayed with it, and by age 12, I was able to get my second-degree black belt. And sadly, I had to stop because of soccer.
That's a decision Coach Izzo Brown is truly glad that Jess made.
I have the greatest respect for Coach, and I'm very happy that she believed in me that I could fulfill that position, and she knew that I'd, work my best, do my best at there, and for her to have that confidence in me just allowed me to have more self-confidence and be able to play to my best ability and fulfill the role in that position.
Oh, and one other thing about Jess, she rides a Harley. It's time for scores and highlights. Let's start off with the Mountaineer women down in Texas. The Mountaineers finished off the regular season with a match against Texas in Austin. Neither team put together any consistent offensive rhythm, as much of the contest was played in the midfield. Sarah Keene came up big when she was needed and kept the scoreline at 0 until the 98th minute. West Virginia pinballed a Bree McCarthy corner until Kara Blosser got the last foot on the ball for the overtime winner. That was Blosser's 3rd goal of the season as West Virginia finished the Big 12 regular season undefeated. In men's play, Northern Illinois broke a scoreless tie in the 84th minute to take the contest 1-0. West Virginia is now 8-5-2 overall and 3-2-1 in the Mid-American Conference. For their first season in the Big 12, the West Virginia women's soccer program did pretty well. In addition to capturing the regular season championship, Mountaineer players and coaches garnered 7 postseason honors from the Big 12. At the top of the list, Nikki Izzo Brown was named Coach of the Year, and Bree McCarthy was named the Defensive Player of the Year. McCarthy, Kate Schwindel, and Bree Rodriguez were also named First Team All-Big 12. Frances Silva was selected to the second team, and WVU landed 3 players onto the all-newcomer team: Leah Emis, Kate Blosser, and Kelsey Maloney. The Big 12 tournament is in San Antonio this week. The Mountaineer men have one more regular season game remaining at Bowling Green this Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Well, that's about it for now. Remember, keep up to date with all the WVU sports news 24/7 just by clicking on WVUsports.com. I'm Amanda Mazey in for Adam Zundel, and we'll see you next week on Inside the 18, brought to you by Northside Automotive.